Assalamualaikum, dear students. So we are just 3 days away from exam, and I hope so. Your preparation is going well. We are revising the theories. I've already made few of the videos, but this is one of the theories which I didn't mention in those theories back, and it's a very important theory. I think a separate video for this one is going to be even better because it's really important, and you can apply Denis McQuail's ideas for your media regulations as well as for your media ecology and power in media, and he's one of the very key theorists. So the first theory which we are going to discuss from Denis McQuail is his normative theories of press. One of the very key theories of the press, which most mass communication students they usually study. It's about like how press is controlled in different ways and how different uh, method exist for controlling the press. So he identified different modes how media systems operate around the world. Like the first one is the authoritarian view. So as the word says authority, it comes from the word authority. When there is some um, method in which there is some strict control from the state, and it is very censored media gates operate in a very strict manner to control what information goes to public. So that is called the authoritarian control of the media. So some of the examples of authoritarian control of the media is from North Korea, and in North Korea, media is not free at all. And similarly, authoritarian control of media exists in some Arab states as well as uh, it was in Germany back in the time when it was like a World War. And so wherever you see like a control by the state, a very strict control by the state, so you can call it as authoritarian control of the media. So the next is the libertarian. Libertarian is from liberty. So that was from authority. This is from liberty. So liberty means like people are at liberty, like whatever to produce, or the media institutions which are producing the news and content. So they should be at liberty, whatever content they produce. Okay. So early U.S. press was at liberty. It was libertarian control over there. Or libertarian shouldn't use about control with the libertarian. I think it was a libertarian way of handling the things with the media. And similarly, if you think about the European countries, think about France. So still they follow this libertarian model where they think that people have their freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and they can express in whatever way they want. So it's a libertarian model. Okay, the third one is the social responsibility model. So social responsibility model says like media should serve the public interest while being free. So media is free, but it should be serving the public interest. And it is something like, for example, there is example of BBC as well. But if you think like when people post as the prosumers, as the people who are producing their content on online, and like what is their way of control. So this concept still applies on the control which happens on the social media as well, the social responsibility. Like for example, if I'm going to put some content online, it is my responsibility, since I am the producer. It should be my responsibility that what content I put over there, and it should be for the public interest. It should not be something which is rejected by the society. um, and it's not like I shouldn't put anything which is not good for the society. So it's free. I'm free to put to put whatever content I produce, but there should be a sense of social responsibility for the betterment of the society. So this model is called the social responsibility. And the fourth model was the Soviet communist model. So media owned by the state, and it reflects the state ideology. And if you extend it further, the explanation, the media should serve the public interest, but it's not being the content not being produced by the people. It is about like how the media is being controlled. Media is state owned, but it reflects the state ideology. This concept is a little bit different from the authoritarian. It looks like similar in the first stance if you just look at them. So it looks like authoritarian, So it has those vibes of authoritarian, but it is something in which they say that it should work for the betterment of the society, while authoritarian it's more sort of like betterment for the state. Like for example, for North Korea, it's whatever they put over there, it's about the Kim Jong Un and their family and stuff like that. Whereas in the Soviet communist model, it's more toward like state-owned, but it reflects the state ideology and it goes with the state ideology, but it is about the people as well. Like for the betterment of the people, whatever can benefit them, so they make such content. Okay, so these are the four normative theories of the press. You can even apply them not just in the press now, you can apply it on whatever model you want. Like for example, like I said, the social media works on the on the social responsibility model. Okay, so if we go for the next thing, this is the five key functions of the media in the society. So what McQuail said, he denied the sorry, he defined the five main functions that serve that media serve. If you remember, like we went for like the 4 points of users and gratification, Blumler and Katz. That was about like what are the needs of the people for which they consume the media. So this is about like what functions does media perform in the society. Okay, so it's different. So don't confuse this with that one. So the first function that media perform in the society is it informs the people. It sort of like educates them. It gives them information. Okay. The second is correlation. So when you're getting the information from multiple resources, it's a function of the media to give you a broader picture of the things, and it's going to help you interpret like what's happening, how the event happened, and sort of like relating one event with another, and making the sense of the broader picture. So that's a function of the media. Not just give you bits and parts of information. They should go for like how things correlate and tell you a broader picture, like what is happening, where are the situations or events heading to, what's going to be happening in the future, what happened in the past, and sort of like correlation is about like giving the context of the news and events. Okay. Okay. The next function, which is which media performs, is function of continuity. So continuity is reinforcing cultural norms and values, because we want to continue with what our norms is. We don't want the values to finish. Like for example, whatever content is being produced, maybe in Pakistan in the drama, we need to think like these are our values, and these values should continue in the next generation as well. And we should think like what are our norms, what are the customs, or what is the things which usually happens in a particular culture and society, and they should pass on to the next generation. Previously, like this function was done by the elders, it still happens, but with the advancement of the things in the media, so this function is also being performed by the media, but it's something which is debatable, I think, because the media itself is not limited. Just think about like all the values and all the norms people are getting from the global resources of the media. Like for example, they're not just consuming the local media. And if local media is promoting the norms and values, and what about like all the people who are consuming the content from Netflix or Prime Video? So they're not giving us the continuity of our norms and values. Okay, so something to be debatable, that is that function being really performed by the media, or is it happening for real? And what is the consumption pattern of the audiences? Would they like to consume more? Do they like to watch television shows from the Netflix, which shows the broader culture, or maybe the culture from the other countries, and maybe their values and their norms are being instilled into our norms and values, and maybe our values can get erased, or maybe it can be overwritten, or maybe it can change over time. um, because with norms and values, usually it is something that if they are in the pristine condition, that is thought to be like something related to the heritage, something historically more connecting. Anyways, let's move forward to the entertainment. So it provides diversion and enjoyment, and I think I don't need to explain this. It's sort of like escapism, scenario when you're providing the entertainment. So it's giving a diversion of the things like from the harsh realities of life. And then another function which media perform is the mobilization. If you think about all the campaigns that happen, it mobilizes the people to do certain things, take certain step, help other people, or like it's about like it encourages the people to take some action. Although this is also debatable, like are all mobilization like helpful for the society or no? Like for example, just think about the Rohingya Muslim genocide, which happened in Burma. So what happened over there was they used Facebook, like it is first ever human massacre and mass exile supported by the social media. And what happened was that people were spreading hate using the Facebook, and it is blamed on this on the Facebook that they didn't take the appropriate actions to take down such content which is maybe creating the violent and hatred in the society. Okay, so people can be mobilized for good and people can be mobilized for bad. Okay, so but it encourages the people to take an action, and this is one of the functions of the media. Most of the time it is supposed to be good, mobilize them to take action against evils of the society, or maybe against some disease, or maybe anything for good. Okay. Okay, so TikTokers entertain but also mobilize users, climate activation, activism, etc., etc. Okay, so the third important thing is the media performance criteria. I think this is really important. Um, like, what is the criteria that media is supporting the society? It's supporting the democracy. Whatever media is doing in the society, what is its performance criteria, especially related to the politics? So, the first question you need to ask is, like, is the media diverse? Does it offer the like various viewpoint? Like for example, you have to ask this question from yourself while watching the content on the television with the news. Is your news neutral for real? Is it giving the diverse opinion from maybe all the political parties, or it is just being dominated by one party, or it's being dominated by the state and other peoples are not included? So the diversity of viewpoint politically, diversity of viewpoint culturally. Like for example, for Pakistan, if you know, we have like the white part of our flag represents the people other than Muslims living in our country. So how many programs do we have for them which shows their culture? They're going to be pretty much less, I'm sure. So, so it's about inclusion. Like, are we including the people who are actually the consumers? They're living in the same society, but are we making the content for them as well? And the political discussion, we already discussed that discourse. So diversity is first question. Another performance criteria to be judged is the access, like how many people are actually accessing that media, or how much is the access to that media. Like for example, the people with the lower incomes, they if they do not have the enough financial resources to buy the smartphone, and they can't afford the internet monthly fee, or maybe they can't they're not able to connect with the all the internet and stuff like that. So we are limiting the access to those people. So those people who do not have the access, it is something they are not part of this entire global village. So Bauman, Bauman, Bauman was a theorist who actually talked about the losers and winners of this situation, losers and winners of this globalization, because everyone is not included in this globalization. So whatever the like Marshall McLuhan calls it as as a global village, because they do not have the access. If you think about like countries, the poor countries, as we go for the like less educated and more poor countries, this access to the media resources ratio drops at a very dramatic rate. So people who do not have the resources, they are far left behind from the culture, from the global cultures, from the information which is being provided by the media. and their consumption pattern is totally different because they're not connected. Okay, so the next thing is responsiveness. So media react to the public concern. So whatever like original public concern is, what people are facing, is media actually reacting to those public concerns? That's a question. Like for example, people have a problem of like they can't find maybe in countries, in poor countries, they don't have like enough food available. So is just media showing them the songs, or it's addressing the question about like food scarcity? Okay, if the food is scarce, if there is no food available, showing them songs is not going to help because it's not the public concern. Okay, and if there is no proper democracy in the country, and people are being pushed to their limit, and that is going to be a public concern, is media really reacting to that public concern? So that is a question. So this is the media, like one of the criteria on which you can judge the media, like if it's properly functioning. Another criteria thing is accountability. Media must be answerable for its content. So, how are the people in this decentralized time, when, like, for example, everyone is a producer, how is that person going to be answerable for its content? Because the person who's creating the content might not be even in your country. They made the content, and they are sitting in some other country, and it's being accessed by like so many people. So media producer who actually made that media, he should be answerable for the content. But what happens when you go and track them? So people are going to say that, like for example, if it's really difficult to track down the person who created the content. Maybe he is living at a place where your country do not have the legal jurisdiction to hold him. So what you can do, you can complain it to Facebook, you can complain to Instagram or maybe X, and they are going to say that we are just a platform. Okay, because they are going to say like Facebook or these platforms, they're going to say that it's not the content we have produced. The content is being produced by some user sitting at some place, we don't know him. uh, but we are not responsible for the content because we are just providing that person a platform. We are not the original originator of the message. So, according to your Communication Act 2003, the original producer of the content, he can be responsible. It's really difficult to track them down. Okay, so this these are few criteria, like question a criteria which you can use to know like how your media is functioning. You can use these theories, like these three McQuail ideas, in your media ecology, in your media regulation, in power and media. Good luck. That's it for this video. Thank you.